This is Rockslapping Champions. Player 1, playing Kerrigan. We have the Zaga Eater. And player 2, playing Vorazun. We have Death himself. So let's have a look at the masteries. Both players are playing on Brutal difficulty. Kerrigan is a level 389 Ascension player, and Vorazun over here is a level 746 Ascension player. So both players should be fairly experienced with the game. Kerrigan is already taking a macro hatchery over here, and that'll help her boost up her economy while she builds up something to take out these rocks over here. So the mastery wise, we have 20 points into the energy regeneration upgrade and 10 points into the attack damage. This will allow Kerrigan to spam her abilities a lot. We have a 11-19 split into the Vespene cost immobilization wave. I believe this is so that she is able to one-shot a certain number of a certain type of unit with the immobilization wave. I think it might be a Banshee. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that is the optimization that's made over there. And then we have the 29 1-point split into the fast evolution and the primary ability damage. This 1 point will allow you to two-shot lurkers and swarm hosts that are borrowed with Kerrigan's slidey move, whatever that's called. If you have 0 points in there, you will need 3 of those little slidey moves to kill those units off. But with the 1 point in, it takes that down to 2 shots, which is significantly easier when you're dealing with certain borrowed units here. So as you can see, Kerrigan is already focusing up on her economy, and Vorazun over here is gone for a Dark Pylon range. So Dark Pylon range is almost never as good as a Black Hole duration. Black Hole is a disabling ability. It disables spells. It disables attacks. You should always be going for the Black Hole duration. The time stop speed increase, really good there. I'm not sure why the Shadow Guard duration has been put. And then we have the Spear of Adune energy instead of the Chrono Boost. Again, Spear of Adune energy for Vorazun, you only need a few points to get your initial Shadow Guard out so you can take your expansion. Otherwise, you should put the rest of the points into the Chrono Boost mastery. So the initial Zerg wave is going to come up over here, and the Shadow Guard is spawned on this side to take out this attack wave. And we can see that Vorazun has already built a Nexus on this side. Now, generally speaking, you can build your primary structure on this side if you are a Zerg commander that wants to have a macro hatchery. So you can build your macro hatchery over here, and this gives you relatively efficient mining on this mineral line until you're able to clear your expansion. So someone like Kerrigan, for example, could make use of that positioning. But when you're playing Protoss, Protoss commanders very rarely build a macro nexus because there's no real reason to do so. So building a nexus on this side is pretty much a waste of resources. You can see that Kerrigan will be moving over here now to try and clear this lane, cast an Assimilation Aura, and will be able to wipe out this attack wave relatively easily. While Vorazun is on this side, she's already put down the pylon in the middle of her mineral line, so we're going to see what's up here. And Vorazun also has a very interesting defensive line here, which is made up of her production structures. Kerrigan is going to be focusing on this first Sandstone. So just be auto-attacking these Zerglings and the rest of these units dead over here. And overall, Kerrigan is doing okay. The one thing I did notice is Kerrigan does not actually have her Heroic Fortitude upgrade. A relatively important upgrade. It does increase Kerrigan's survivability and her ruggedness throughout the course of the game. So that is one of the upgrades that you should be prioritizing when you are playing Kerrigan. But overall, Kerrigan's doing okay. And yeah, so again, we have more production on this side, and Vorazun has basically decided to wall off her all these ramps with her production structures, which is okay as long as you're not getting attacked. If you do end up getting attacked, you will lose your production and you will lose the game because you will probably end up losing your army. But there is just a sliver of HP left, 21 HP left on that Sandstone. But Kerrigan decides, you know what, I'm gonna go and take out this attack wave instead, and I'll deal with this thing later. So Kerrigan makes very short work of this attack wave, and Vorazun is doing okay here by walling off the ramps with the production structures. So we have a 3 Stargates are being created right now just to wall off that ramp. And now we have a bunch of roaches here as well, but again, no match for Kerrigan, and a bunch of overseers are just watching Kerrigan kill their buddies off here. And Kerrigan will just jump in here, take this out, kill the roach, and now she'll be working her way towards this enemy base here. Decides to harass this overseer. She's like, enough of you looking at me, I want my privacy. And now we have a dark shrine that is being put where the nexus should actually be put. So we have a very interesting positioning over here while Kerrigan is working away at this. As you can see here, this is the effect of like the lack of the heroic fortitude upgrade. It does make it a little bit dangerous for Kerrigan to push in. Her shell upgrade is really good, so whenever she deals damage, she gets a little bit of a shell, kind of a shield. It does increase her survivability, but it does make it a little bit tricky. First Void Thrasher now has spawned, and Kerrigan really cleaned that out. And as you can see over here, Vorazun is thinking outside the box. Like, you know what? Instead of building my nexus where the rocks are, I'm just going to be building it next to the mineral line on the other side. And then I will just put my production structures where my rocks are after I've cleared them. So that is some high quality thinking for you right there. Starcraft does require a little bit of creativity, and Vorazun has found a very creative way of taking your expansion without being impacted by the rocks over there. So yeah, Kerrigan is basically cleaning up everything that's left. Kerrigan has all her upgrades now. She has her ability efficiency upgrade, which is a very, very important upgrade. And she has her heroic fortitude as well. And she also has a chain reaction upgrade. Not as critical for Kerrigan, but if you're doing a solo Kerrigan build, or at least if you're starting off with a very, very early Kerrigan build, having that is really good. Kerrigan also has a bunch of nice worms around the map. So Kerrigan goes in, drops a nice worm on this side, and then we'll jump in and we'll clean up this side as well. The Simulation Aura comes down. Very nice timing on the Simulation Aura, and gets a lot of value for a lot of her units over there. And Vorazun now has some units out for herself as well. Vorazun has these are mineral pickups, by the way, mineral investment pickups. But yeah, Vorazun has 5 Dark Templars and 2 Stalkers right now, and a couple of Centurions as well. And I believe Vorazun has saturated that base here, getting some upgrades on the Dark Shrine. She's already gotten the Dark Coil upgrade for the Centurions, and now there's another attack wave that's coming up from the top and the middle and the bottom lane over here. And Kerrigan has essentially cleaned this up. There is a hybrid nemesis that is there, or as I like to call it, a tuna fish hybrid, because it looks like a tuna fish. And there's another attack wave that's coming up on this side. A ton of roaches here, and there is detection, so this is going to be causing a lot of problems for Vorazun, and Vorazun does end up losing, I think, a Centurion and one of the cannon here. And now we have a black hole that gets dropped down here, and this is exactly why going for the black hole duration instead of the Dark Pylon Mastery is important, because most of the time, especially on brutal difficulty, Amon has a lot of detection, and your Dark Pylon range, which gives you the extra cloak, very nice immobilization wave there, instantly one-shot a lot of the units on that side. But yeah, going for the Dark Pylon range means basically you get an increased cloak range, because you should not really be suffering or lacking pylon power. So you're basically getting the Dark Pylon mastery for the cloak range, and that seems to get nullified very, very easily on brutal difficulty, because Amon does have a lot of detection, be it observers or ravens or overseers, depending on the enemy race you're playing up against. So the black hole duration is significantly more impactful, because you're able to disable attack waves for a significant period of time, and that can mean the difference between losing your entire army and not, because certain attack waves can get really nasty. Swarmy Zerg attack waves with Vipers and Scourge can get really, really ugly very, very fast. As you can see over here, Kerrigan has really no problems dealing with this attack wave. There is a nice one that gets dropped down, and now Kerrigan's army has been spawned to deal with the rest of this attack wave. Now she's starting to get the rest of her upgrades as well. We have Zergling upgrades, we have Ultralisk upgrades as well, and Kerrigan will be relatively okay in for the rest of this mission. Very, very good micro here from Kerrigan, and really strong macro as well. We have a large number of Naya Swarms there. This is going to give Kerrigan all the mobility that she needs, and additionally, it also looks like Kerrigan is well aware of the attack wave patterns, so again, double thumbs up there. Kerrigan, again, there's another attack wave here. Simulation Ore comes down, again, builds up a lot of resources for Kerrigan, and the attack wave has been essentially cleared up by that, by the enemy forces for Kerrigan. Void Thrasher has spawned, and Kerrigan will be doing some damage to this. Shadow Guard gets dropped here to deal with the Void Thrasher. Again, Shadow Guard is not very useful in the later stages of the game, Unless you're dealing with an emergency situation where you'd want to have some kind of anti-ground DPS. Usually the Shadow Guard should be used to clear the expansion, and then, to be honest, I rarely ever use it unless there's a really good reason for me to deploy Shadow Guard, because you're using up a lot of energy, and that energy can be better spent on black holes. So that Zenstone has gone down now, and here we clean up the Spore Crawler, and we'll move towards this last Zenstone here. We can see there's an army of Zerglings, Hydralisks, and Ultralisks. The Ultralisk will be in the front line just to be able to tank and draw a lot of damage here. But again, there is a drop attack here, and Kerrigan just instantly on top of this attack wave jumps in back here again to try and deal with the Zenstone, and she'll probably clean the Zenstone up before the next drop attack spawns as well. So that is actually really good play on Kerrigan's side. There is one more spawning pool on this site. Kerrigan has decided to leave the drop attack to her ally, and now Kerrigan has essentially all cleared the 3 lanes on this map, which will make this significantly easier now. The mission will become significantly easier when it comes to the later stages of the game, where you have to try and push and deal with these deeper Void Thrashers spawning in these locations over here. And as you can see, there are a ton of Night Worms that Kerrigan is putting down on the map. And these ones are just to draw aggro and slow the attack waves down while she can get into position and clean the rest of the attack waves. So this is again a good habit when you are playing Kerrigan. Make a few extra Night Swarms. You are fooling a lot of resources. Put down some extra Night Swarms and just spam them around the map. And this will actually slow down the attack wave while they try and take this. As you can see here, Kerrigan is sending in an Overlord over here, and out comes the rest of these units here, and they all unload. Kerrigan creates an Assimilation Aura and an Immobilization Wave, instantly one-shotting almost all the units in that area, and whatever is left now is just going to get cleaned up by the ground force, and Kerrigan is just raining hell down on Amon, and that entire island area has been cleaned up. And yeah, I believe there's just one Hydralisk left on this side, and it's just going to get picked off by this Zergling army here. And now this entire map has been all cleared at the 17-minute mark by essentially Kerrigan herself. Vorazun, on the other hand, is building an interesting city over here. It's completely covered up her expansion area with her production structures. And as you can see here, we have actually a lot of stuff. There's another attack wave now that's spawned on this side. But let's have a look at the structures owned for Vorazun. We have 28 Photon Cannons, 3 Forges, 3 Stargates, and 7 Gateways. And that is for the 11 Dark Templars, and the 9 Corsairs, and the 2 Oracles, 5 Void Rays, and 2 Stalkers. So they're basically half as many gateways as there are units on the map at the moment for Vorazun, which is somewhat interesting. But yeah, this map has been essentially all cleared, and Kerrigan is basically chilling right now. As you can see, again, Kerrigan's just putting down more Night Swarms here, just going to give her more flexibility in the later stages of the game. Notice how Kerrigan is also storing a few resources. She's not, building 10 more Night Swarms, even though she could. Because you are going to be suffering some kinds of losses in the army. Actually, this is kind of impressive. Like, Kerrigan has lost 80 Zerglings and 1 Hydralisk in that whole engage, which is basically nothing. And Kerrigan spawns on this side, and drops the rest of her army on here. And as you can see, like, she hasn't really suffered any losses. Like, 85 Zerglings and 1 Hydralisk at the 20-minute mark is absolutely insane. She has lost pretty much nothing. Vorazun has lost one Centurion, which means Vorazun is a better player here than Kerrigan. Vorazun has not lost anything in terms of let's have a look at the losses over there. As you can see, Vorazun has lost only 400 resources, while Kerrigan has lost 27,000 resources on that side. So as you can see here, Vorazun is the superior player, and very clearly significantly more experienced in terms of mastery levels. As you can see, 750 versus the 390 Ascension level here for Kerrigan. So there you go. Kerrigan does move again here to deal with this next attack wave. This is usually a double attack wave, and normally one player deals with one side and then the other player deals with the other side, with the Void Thrasher spawn. As you can see over here, Kerrigan has just... Look at all those units just fly out of the way. That is Starcraft physics for you. But yeah, Kerrigan has essentially been able to deal with both sides very, very effectively. And this is why having these nice swarms is going to give you a lot of benefit. As we see, we have a Dark Pylon here to cloak the Omega Worms. And there's a Dark Pylon here as well to cloak that Omega Worm. So, yeah, I'm not... Is there a Dark Pylon here? No. There's no Dark Pylon there. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what to say. But anyway, Kerrigan is putting down more nice swarms here. This is just going to stall the attack waves while she deals with each of the individual lanes here. And now Vorazun has decided to move her army here, and she will be spawn camping this Void Thrasher spawn. We are almost there at the spawn point now, and as we can see, we have an Overseer that is just spazzing out over here. Wants to go there, can't go there. Just looking on both sides, wondering what's going on. Sometimes the AI kind of just spazzes out, and it's kind of amusing when it's an Overseer or something. We have another attack wave that has spawned here, and Kerrigan has instantly unloaded her Mega Worms and has cleared out that attack wave. And now we have the first time stop of the mission. The first time stop at 22 minutes and 45 seconds has been cast, and that Void Thrasher does end up going down. And that Void Thrasher goes down as well, and Vorazun actually has no problems dealing with that attack wave either. So Void Thrasher has indeed been obliterated, and we have now another Overseer that's just exploring this area, and probably making its way towards Vorazun's army here, because Vorazun's army is cloaked. Amon will consistently send Overseers to various areas here just to provide detection for him. So it does get really annoying, but this is why having Cloak in general in co-op is not really as beneficial as it would be on, say, the ladder, where you can catch your enemy by surprise. Cloak is mostly used for Vorazun as a passive, which increases the shield regeneration rate of her units. It's not really used so that you can hit units while they cannot hit you back. Is basically what it is. There are some interesting cheeses you can do with Cloak. If you are careful, you can take advantage of the Dark Pylon range, but they're usually for mutations. They're not really for regular missions like this, where you can basically steamroll the enemy units very, very easily. As you can see, a ton of Naya Swarms here for Kerrigan. How many Naya Swarms has... well, unfortunately... Okay, there we go. 47 Naya Swarm outlets and 5 actually main Naya Swarms have been there. So... yeah, a ton of Naya Swarms for Kerrigan, and essentially all these attack waves have been handled relatively easily. There is one more, and this is the final attack wave of this mission, and as you can see over here, let's take out this side. Kerrigan's on this side. Again, one immobilization wave instantly one-shots pretty much everything except the Ultralisks, and that immobilization wave just gives enough time for Kerrigan's army to come in here and clean up this attack wave. And over here, Vorazun has also handled this attack wave relatively easily. But there are a bunch of infested Terrans that have been spawned by the Infestor. And that infested Terran actually went flying across the map again, which was kind of amusing. But yeah, those are all the attack waves that are done on this mission. The temple has been defended with 2,992 HP left. So I think one of the Void Thrashers may have hit the temple once or twice, which is somewhat unfortunate, but almost a perfect run here for Kerrigan. Amazing play here by Kerrigan. If you want, this is essentially a masterclass in Kerrigan gameplay, and that is a temple defended, and that is GG.